Good morning out here in our hoop house, North Central Mass. It is mid-April. This is zone 5B. Our average last frost is about May 7th, though a lot of people around here still use Memorial Day. I tend to go a little earlier and watch the weather. We've got spinach and beets doing pretty well over here. Haven't picked much spinach yet, so I'm excited. Looks like this week I should be able to. We've got some broccoli. Oh, and some weeds, always. And some carrots as well. This is a short day broccoli. It's roughly, I believe, 35 day. So more like a bunch broccoli. Got onions and some garlic in here. And then we have a bunch of radishes and some bunching onions. Some more weeds back there. And then a few peas up here in the corner. This is that first 4x4 bed. We'll switch it over. The bunching onions will stay. This is our east side. We will get light in here. It's really foggy today, but sunlight in the summers is between 5:30 and 6 a.m. in the hoop house on this side. So the onions will do really well there. And then we have the trellises that Jace installed for me last year, or the cables. And we will be doing lower and lean tomatoes and cucumbers in here on this side of the bed. So this is a 4x4 and that's an 8x4 back here. Got a couple more broccolis that are getting eaten pretty good, and you can see one of the culprits. Let's see if you can see him right here. Let's see. So not sure that these will do well enough in here with the pest pressure already. And then these are the holdover or overwintered onions, which gives us some really good green onions early, and that's been fantastic because we can just come over and you can hardly see that I've eaten any, and I swear we have quite a bit. I've cut quite a few stalks, but these are fantastic, and just to make sure that you have an early fresh onion in the garden, you just leave 4 or 5 of them, or even 2. Every once in a while you do have some losses, so I tend to always try to do more than I need. These ones, the actual onions themselves might not be very good. They will also potentially go to seed, which I'm really excited about, which means that they will have these beautiful big allium flowers, which will be fun. We've done a lot. We had some visitors down visiting, of course, and so got some stuff done, and so I'm a little behind on our garden vlogs, but you'll notice the green stalk is no longer in the back here. This is due south, almost perfectly south, and we did design, because of the amount of sun we get here up on top of the hill, we did design it a north to south orientation. I've got some cleanup there to grab. We're talking about different options for back here. So not sure exactly what we're going to do, and then we can't keep deciding whether or not we want to do a door, but we may put some fans in this year. We have not put the shade cloth on, as you can see. So on the west side of the garden, this gets sun in the summers until about 7 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock. So again, it's very, very long, sunny location. So over here I do have some baby alyssum started. It's a great companion plant, but it can get out of control if you're on the zones 6 or 7 and up. It will overwinter, and it will self-seed itself, or I shouldn't say overwinter, it will self-seed itself everywhere. So just be aware of that if you do plant it when you're further south than us. Here in the greenhouse, it will actually take over, and I was pulling it out of all sorts of different places, and then I also just let it grow in a lot of different places as well last year. But just a tip on that, but it does attract a hoverfly that then if you plant underneath your tomatoes, the hoverflies, you have the plant, like the alyssum, you've got your tomatoes, and then the hoverflies are hovering right above the alyssum, which is great because it actually keeps the moths away from laying eggs down at the stems of your tomatoes. So then you have less pressure from the tomato hornworms and things like that, in theory, is the thought. It's about 60 degrees in here right now. I didn't check the outdoor temperature. It's definitely a little chilly this morning, but not too bad. This is a high-low thermometer. It's very cheap, simple. Got it on Amazon. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see on the screen or not, but you can kind of see that the left is the high from yesterday, and then the low. So it was like 79 in here when I reset it, and then the low temp was, I can't even read that. Someone else will probably be able to read that. Maybe 50? I'm not sure. The low outdoor temperature, I think, was like 48 last night, so it definitely kept a little bit warm, even though we have like the plow damage here. The sides are no longer attached because we have been rolling these up. This side is all, and this 4x8 bed is all flowers. And with the heat, I'm guessing our ranunculus will not bloom, which is a really big bummer, but there's always hope. You never know. You'll see the bamboo stakes. I did put 2 layers of Ag 15 cloth just over the top. I'll put a couple photos in now. So that actually worked pretty good. It allowed airflow underneath. We had the sides rolled up. So when we had the 90-something degree days, the 2 days that was crazy this past week, it managed to keep this a little cooler, but you're still talking it was 80-something degrees down here at the soil level. And I'm not sure how we'll do. It's my first year growing ranunculus, so there's that too. But I started the corms inside, or I soaked them, then started them. They got some really good roots. Planted them out here in March, maybe. They are so slow growing too. And we've only fertilized these with a foliar spray once. It's, can't remember which one it was, but it's something with a high nitrogen concentration. Over here, these are the poppies I started inside and transplanted out. And then feverfew over there. There's actually a couple, these are stalks here, this guy and this guy that's hanging out with the feverfew. And then we have onions from last year. This is a bunching onion type, a perennial onion. And these onions are all from last year, which is great. I have some sweet peas for flowers over here, and I'll need to tie these up. And this looks like larkspur, but I'm not sure. Snapdragons here. This is a wild sweet pea. I did not plant this. Those are great for bouquets as well, for cuts. And some lupin in the back. More feverfew. And more stalk as well. And then I left this side open for Lysianthus. I'm always saying that wrong. Lysianthus or Lyssies or Lizzies or whatever you want to call them. I'm hoping to be able to plant some of those here. I did do 4 trays of seed starts this year, and that's been an experience. If you haven't watched some of the seedling videos about them, they are tiny and they've been up for 8 weeks now. So they're smaller than my fingertip. And they're just starting to get their second set of true leaves, I think. And I've lost a whole bunch of them, so that's always fun. But I also ordered plugs from Rakers Roberta's through Ball Seeds, and So I'm really excited to get those. They should be getting delivered around the 15th of May. Back here, I've got a couple grow bags just staged with some of the soil. And then this one is some snapdragons that we overwintered in here. So you can see they're coming back alive here. So that'll be great to see how they do. Let's see, over here, now that the bench is gone, we do have our little heater. It's turned off right now. We will use it probably for another 3 or 4 nights coming up. I did move some tomatoes out just because I needed space, and they are leggy, and so getting them out sooner would be better. And a pepper out as well. And I did have them covered, but then I used that cover more for the ranunculus. So these did get sunburned. It's not the end of the world. It happens. The new growth will be fine, as you can see here. The new growth is absolutely great. Down here as well. And then the peppers, you can see they're a little spotty. That's sunburn. Not the end of the world. So we've got more feverfew, status that I'm going to need to separate pretty quick here. Some more snapdragons that I need to plant. Eucalyptus, more status, more feverfew, some straw flowers. And then back here, these are the pots that I started back in March here in the hoop house versus the stuff I started out in our basement under grow lights. Got some poppies. This one's probably a little packed, so I'm not sure how it'll do, but hopefully it'll be okay. I'm going to feed them today with some down-to-earth all-purpose fertilizer. It's an OMRI organic rated. And I don't know what these ones are. I kind of forgot what I planted here. They look pretty. And I think these are larkspur with a poppy that got away from me. And these are edible peas, regular peas, and more snapdragons that I need to split right here. So that's what I've got going on so far. Today will be a big day. It's supposed to be overcast most of the day, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to set up the space for the tomatoes. I'm thinking about putting some concrete blocks back there with some wood and doing some tiers and doing a shade cloth against that back wall, because that's the southern view wall, and coming out over the top of it a little bit just to help with that shade. Because of the quantity of tomatoes that I grow, I do not want to be bringing them in and out of this hoop house once they're in here. Since this is 6 mil plastic, it does actually decrease the amount of sun some. And then if you add shade cloth as well, or the really light bug cloth, which is the Ag 15, it actually decreases the amount of sun. The sun still does get through the Ag 15, and if you don't enclose them in it, there's still airflow. So we'll play with that design today and see. We've got some lumber from the mill I could probably grab to make some quick benches and have quite a big area back there, as well as up here.